What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 17, the Big 1-7. My name is Rob. I'm in draft season, and this is my friend Andy, fan of the number one team in America, the only team in New York State, the Buffalo Bills. Andy, what's going on, sir? How are you?
You know what? It's the Josh Allen episode. It's episode 17. So I'm good. I'm nervous. Big win. I appreciate your text after the fact saying good win. It was a
Was that
sloppy
breaking a rule? I kind of broke a rule.
No, it was fine. You didn't rub it in my face that like the three losses we've had, you haven't texted me like, man, you guys suck or anything. So we're good. After the fact, after a game, after a good win, you could text it. I mean, Pittsburgh was a good win. They're in a lot of trouble, Pittsburgh, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy. We're going into a trap game this week where we could win the division for the first time since I think when Columbus came over. So not going to happen, but we'll see.
With Victor De La Cosa, by the way, was his second mate. Was throwing it.
Oh, nice. A little history lesson.
Gets no love. Gets absolutely no love. But anyway.
But you guys had a big week. You guys had a couple of little front office firings.
Yeah. Draft season. I'm in. 2021. Let's do it. All in. I'm so excited and frustrated and just awaiting disappointment for all of the people that are just completely going for this whole Wade Phillips thing, and Wade Phillips tweeting Raider fans and, tweeting about how he wants the job. And then, some of our Vegas beat writers used to write for the Rams, so they're texting him and he's telling them how he wants the job, and everyone's getting their hopes up. And then we're going to assign Chuck Bresnahan for a third time. I'm awaiting it at this point. I can't wait. I'm very excited for that.
Just sounds like a match made in heaven. As soon as you guys made the announcement, I was like, oh geez, this is Wade coming back. I was like, is Wade going to be there?
I would love it. I'd be so happy. I don't want to do it. I'm homering out. Forget it.
But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting week all in all in football. Nothing too crazy.
Really.
I mean,
it's a terrible week.
It was an interesting week for a certain fact of your draft crush, which we won't talk about too much. He played a game. He beat a team that's highly ranked. I do believe that the Saints fans can start to come down to reality that you may not have your quarterback of the future and who you think you have. But yeah, give a little love to your boy.
Man, there's parts to players when you try to learn about guys and when you try to scout guys. And obviously we do it from home, you know what I mean? But, you can watch tape, you can hear coaches talk about them, you can try to break down throwing mechanisms and stuff like that and playbooks and things along those lines for all these quarterbacks. He just wants to win. And there's something to be said about that. The guy just doesn't like losing. And it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that it doesn't affect. There's a lot of quarterbacks that just don't seem to care like that. So the guy puts his all into it, man. I love his work ethic. I love the way he talks. I love just the way he takes command of a game. His teammates love him. I just really like the guy coming out of college. Love his athleticism. His arm is iffy, throwing strength-wise, in my opinion. But, man, I just thought he's a good stash quarterback to potentially run a franchise in the future. I didn't think he'd be playing year one. Definitely didn't think he was going to get drafted by the Eagles. But, man, he's going to win games. He's going to absolutely win games.
He's exactly what the Eagles need right now with that offensive line. That offensive line it's basically like Mark Wahlberg might show up and play offensive line. And they might hold tryouts. It's that bad. And Wentz is he looks like he's Sam Darnold from last year and partially this year. He's seeing ghosts. Like he has no idea what's going on. And for Eagles fans that are freaking out and saying, well, we spent all this money on Wentz. Yeah, you spent all that money on a quarterback. Each team in the NFL spends a ton of money on a quarterback. You have Hurts on a rookie deal. So you're only paying for one quarterback. It's not that big of a deal. Does it suck that one of your most expensive players is sitting on the bench? Absolutely. Would you rather make the playoffs and win a Super Bowl? Not saying Hurts do that, but you have a better shot with him in there right now than you would with Wentz in there doing God knows what. But, that was –
Let's sidetrack. Would you pay a quarterback?
Depends. It depends on if I have an established team already. Like in Kansas City's case, yes, I would pay a quarterback as long as I possibly can. He did it with an established team. Players want to come play there. If I'm on a team on a rebuild and I'm supposed to try to pay a quarterback, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You got to build pieces around it first, in my eyes.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of thinking, with rookie deals the way they are now, and it's terrible what Dallas is doing to Dak. But I mean, look at how long they've extended this.
Yep.
And again, man, some of these guys are worth it. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes is worth every penny he gets.
For sure.
But at the same time, if you can get a top 5, 6 guy and not have to pay him, I kind of get it. You know what I mean? Again, it's terrible what's happening to Dak, and potentially the Watsons of the world and stuff like that. But
it's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business. And I mean, the perfect example is look at one of the best franchises in football, the Green Bay Packers. Every once in a while, the Green Bay Packers continue to draft a quarterback where everyone's like, why the hell would you do that? Like, you're so stupid. Like, this entire franchise sucks. Like, we're the worst. They're about to be a playoff caliber team that just runs through the playoffs, possibly, and you could potentially have your quarterback in the future. You don't know if Love has it, but if Rodgers has crazy years and still wants to play and do a Tom Brady, you're not stuck like the New England Patriots are right now with a team that just looks completely lost. But they still have a good defense. Well, I'll leave that alone. So, yeah, I mean, nothing really popped off the page to me last week with any particular games otherwise. I mean, I know people are going to talk about the Browns-Ravens game. I thought the running back Lamar Jackson played a fantastic running back game, so it was good by him. But do you have anything to add about their running attack?
I hate this conversation so much. Nah, we're good. And go into your joke too. Go ahead.
No, I mean, one of the things that we're going to start doing on this podcast.
Hold on. I'm going to go change my cleats real quick.
Do it. Yeah, you do it.
My stomach's rumbling a little bit. I got to go change.
No, you know what? He didn't pull a Paul Pierce. He said he didn't pull a Paul Pierce. But we're going to start a new segment on the show that we're going to call it's just You Big Dummy. And my first You Big Dummy of today for this episode, I got another one coming up when we start talking college football.
I'm going to take your college football one because I have a joke that goes along with it.
All right, you can. I'll give it to you. That's what Sharon is carrying. But my first You Big Dummy goes to Lamar. Lamar, you guys won the game. You could tell people you had to poop, man. You could just tell people. Like, no one's going to judge you and be like, look, I had to step out. The sad part was the offense looked better without him in there because they could throw the ball. It was kind of amazing to see a quarterback throw the ball. But you big dummy, you did the shuffle step down the freaking hallway, and you're telling me that your hamstring was hurt? No.
He's his cleats. He's changing cleats.
You're a pro. You should know your body. You should know, like, uh-oh, that's not a fart. Like, that's something else. So my first You Big Dummy of the year goes to my favorite quarterback, Lamar Jackson. So,
I have a thing here.
Lamar.
If I were a professional football player, and this is going to sound really weird, I'm pretty sure I would take 3 Imodium when I wake up in the morning before the game every Sunday. Or at least 2. Right? I mean, what do you do? Like, what's he supposed to do?
He's played for so long, and you don't tell me, like, this is the first game you went and got a gas station burrito and played? Like, come on, dude. Was it all the hits that you took as a running back? Is that what's jarring up the poo-poo? Like, come on, man.
Everybody poops, bro. There's a book.
Oh,
there's a book about it.
But I'm fine with it. You know what?
I'm sorry. I'm doing 3 Imodium before every game.
I would love it if he came out and said it.
Hold on. Not a sponsor of the program, by the way.
Yeah, no free ads, but
yeah, no. We are not sponsored by Imodium. Although if you're interested, Imodium,
he'd be a hero. Yeah, he'd be a hero if he came out, and he'd get sponsored by Imodium. He'd get sponsored by other people if he came out. Like, he'd get sponsored by Depends. Like, if he came out and just said it, be like, look, man, like, we were driving, and so was I. Like, I couldn't keep it at bay. Like, I had to go real quick, got back out, boom, done. But you big dummy. You just big dummy.
I'm gonna switch this up a little bit and go for I'm gonna throw a compliment. out there. We'll get back to the you big dummy thing, but I'm going to throw a compliment out there. I saw, and we're switching over to college now. I watched a couple games this weekend,
Okay.
and I saw one of the best throws I've ever seen in my entire life. The mechanics were absolutely flawless.
Oh,
It was an
God.
unexpected toss, but Marco Wilson, just a beautiful throw. Beautiful throw.
This one hurts.
It was absolutely incredible. Again, footwork was a little iffy, but that's okay. He's the next Mahomes in my eyes. His footwork was all over the place. But, like, the arm, the angle was perfect. No one saw it coming. Beautiful throw. Props.
You big freaking dummy, Marco Wilson. This hurts me a little bit more because we've talked about it before. I'm a Gator football fan. Like, knew this LSU game was going to be a trap. They started a brand new quarterback for the game. He played phenomenal. Like, don't take anything away from him. Florida tried to limp in there without Pitts playing. Like, you're going to win the game. You have one of the most high-powered offenses, and you can set yourself up so that if you do win the SEC championship, you're one of the 4. I mean, granted, the way things work out, they still could end up being one of the 4, but you big dummy. You stop them on third, then you get up and you flex and you throw a pass of the cleat, and then you get a field goal. They go down and kick a field goal on you, and then you just knew from there that Florida's kicker was not going to kick it. He could have had like a 10-yard chip shot, and he would have shanked it off the upright. So, Marco Wilson, congratulations on being our second you big dummy, but the first in college, and I hope you break your leg.
Well, that's not very nice. By the way, you big dummy, sponsored by Jonathan Abram, safety,
Yeah.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, he's just a poor dummy.
Oh,
Just a poor dummy.
has more than I have. Has more than that. Not more than you have, but he has more than I have.
Yeah, well, that's a good one. But on to this week. I mean, this week's kind of unique from the pro football stance. I'm interested in seeing how pro football ranks up against college football this weekend, which is kind of cool because there are 2 games on Saturday. Of course, I'm going to be watching the one game on Saturday because the Bills take on the Broncos, which is going to be interesting to see. But also, I mean, the Panthers take on the Packers. So that's going to be a good one. I know you guys play actually on Thursday night, which is actually going to be a fun game to watch. You want to talk about that?
No.
All right, perfect. I assume so. So, yeah, I mean, a whole bunch of playoff implications coming up on this week. Particular, I mean, crazy games across the board with it's interesting to see what the Colts and the Texans are going to do. I would love if the Patriots and the Dolphins game turned very, very interesting. I think one thing that we should talk about, and I think it could be unique, is let's talk about the Jets and let's talk about the Jags. Who's going to have the number 1 pick and why?
We talked about it a little bit last week, but I am all in. I am all in. I truly want this to happen. I want Belichick to give the Jaguars the first pick. I really do. I truly, truly do. That would be one of my favorite football moments because I don't witness winning. That would be one of my favorite football moments of my entire life. That would be incredible. I know we're talking about it 2 weeks in a row. I apologize to all 12 of you listening. But absolutely, I would love it. And it's perfect. And it makes sense. It's strategy. There's no difference in calling the perfect play call to win a game and intentionally losing to a division rival so they cannot get the quarterback of the future.
Yep.
It's strategy. I would love that.
It's smart.
It is.
It's just so smart.
So the roadblock here is you have a full roster of professional football players that are trained to kill and to win. And he has done a better job than you can argue anyone in the history of the sport at doing that.
Correct.
How do you turn off the switch for one game? Do you bench everybody and do you just sign?
You know what?
Sign Rob and Andy to play that game?
You know what? I got it. So their owner in New England is notorious for understanding how to relax. So before the game,
What do
you
you mean?
go to one of his spots and just relax, and maybe it'll take the edge off of Bill.
When you say relax, what do you mean?
Trying to pay for someone's doctorate. That's the nicest way. That's a nice, putting some young ladies through high school. I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting because here, let me tell you this. So let's do this game without you looking at it because I have it up right here and I don't think you will. So either roster. Let's put the Jaguars and the Jets together. So just in your mind, tell me tell me a winnable game for the Jaguars or the Jets. Rams, is that a winnable game?
No.
Browns.
No.
In 2 weeks. Browns in 2 weeks.
I'm still waiting for the Browns to have that just horrible moment. Okay. I don't think because I did not think they'd be as good as they are, and I understand they just lost to Baltimore, but no, I do not think that's a winnable game, but they're still the Browns, and I cannot get that out of my head.
Agreed. So I said Rams, Browns, Patriots.
Please.
Okay, so let's go Ravens.
No.
Bears.
No.
Colts.
No.
So none of these games are winnable for any of the teams. So if that's the case, the Jets are coming back. My only hope, just because I think it would be so great, because we live in New Jersey, for those of you that are listening, and it just makes us laugh when Jets fans are now like, oh, this is perfect. We got the greatest wide receiver set up. We have a left tackle of the future. Like, we're going to have Trevor Lawrence. We're going to be the greatest team of all time. The Jaguars play the Bears. Minshew has been known to do Minshew things. He's not going to be a starter anymore in the future. He could beat the Bears in my eyes. I
hesitated a little bit with that one.
I just need the Jets to lose, and I need the Browns to still need something come 2 weeks. So the Browns still need that little glimmer of hope where they continue to play their starters, because if anybody plays their backups against starters, I just don't believe in it. I don't believe that they should win the game. Sometimes they do if you're the New England Patriots and a powerhouse team, but most times you won't. So that's going to be interesting because the Browns could be playoff secured and then just be like, all right, screw it. Then that would just make everybody laugh, because if the Browns ended up screwing the Jets, that's just like a passing the torch to mediocrity. It's like
I could see it. Yeah, and also let's be clear on something too. I know there's a lot of talk out there which I just don't get. Whoever gets the second pick, you're still set.
Oh, yeah.
You're okay. That's not a consolation prize. That is, both of those guys are number one pick worthy.
I actually feel like Fields is a better option for the Jags.
I agree, and if you move his injury past, the conversation changes, in my opinion.
I also don't think Fields could withstand the media in New York. I don't think Trevor Lawrence.
No, come on. You're giving up on Josh Allen already?
Excuse me, the Jets. Excuse me, New Jersey.
Jeez.
Well,
I was going to say you can't give up on Josh Allen. He's playing ball.
No. I'm cool with him. I'll ride with him. If not, we got Matt Barkley. Or Jake Fromm, who we don't let touch the field. Hey, Broncos, take a note.
What's that?
But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting final couple weeks of the season. Like I said, nothing too crazy for this particular week. A lot of playoff implications. I mean, it is going to be interesting to see what happens between the Eagles and the Washington Football Association of Football, located down in D.C. I'm interested to see how that all pans out. So
I'm rooting for Washington right now, man. I really am. What a story. And again, I know this is something else we've talked about a couple times, but how do you not root for those guys?
It's they're playing great. I mean, defense is fantastic. I think a bigger story that we don't talk about enough is, where's Haskins going? And for what pick? I think the Alouettes in the CFL.
No, stop.
He's going to just be held onto and then cut, or released after his rookie deal. He's not going to play. He's not going to get traded.
How can you even, if he did though, like, they wouldn't get much for him because, again,
Fourth, fifth?
I don't know. I don't know because there's so much that goes into this. Like, okay, how many quarterbacks at the end of the day are going to be graded as a first-round pick? Then how many are graded as a second-round pick? And then once you get into third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, now you have probably where the value is, anywhere from 3 to 7. I know that's a wide range, but I have no idea what you'd get for him. Then you have to throw in the fact, okay, are the Matt Staffords of the world, are they getting traded? Are they going to be elsewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Are there starters that are out there now that we don't know about that are going to be moved?
It's going to be amazing. And I really hope the NFL keeps doing what they're doing this year with the practice squad next year. Just because it continues to, like, people forget that Rosen's in the league. He's a practice squad player with the Tampa Bay Bucks, but I wouldn't give up hope on him yet. Not saying he's going to be a starter and a stud, but he could be a salvageable backup. Haskins' knock on him right now is he doesn't know how to spell his own name because that's just how dumb he is. So somebody needs to just sit him down and have him grow up some and realize that you're not the second coming, and maybe he could be a salvageable backup. But, yeah, to your point, it's going to be tough.
Something you can't forget about either, Dwayne Haskins has never thrown a shoe.
He hasn't. That's why, I mean, he's already higher in my book than Margot Wilson. Margot sat on the corner of the bench with his hands in his head, and his teammates literally just did like one of those things where, like, a smelly kid sits next to you at lunch, and they, like, slid. His entire team did that and was just like, dude, you've been getting torched all game, and now you throw a shoe. Who throws a shoe?
Not Dwayne Haskins.
Not Dwayne Haskins. That's for sure. I mean, he'd probably get it intercepted, but I may have gone too far. I mean,
I don't know. We, you know what else we have to talk about soon? We have to have this minor league football proposal episode, which, by the way, is going to be a lot longer than the half hour because there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to get through that. Because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to write is going to be about 50 to 60 pages on how this is going to work.
I'm down. I mean, we're going to have minor league football coming soon anyway with the XFL. Hopefully, I mean, the XFL can't fold now with the backing that they have. If they fold now, then the world is doomed, because if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson doesn't succeed at something, I'm just giving up. We should just move to Canada. Like, it's just the way it is.
You know why you can't move to Canada?
Why?
It doesn't matter why you can't move to Canada.
That was fantastic. I just got goosebumps. I'm ready for XFL football.
Oh, can't wait.
I can't wait. But
Tyree Jackson, bring him back.
No chance. He's already trying out his tight end, which I love the fact that he's still trying.
Why haven't we talked about Tyler Huntley? Totally forgot.
That's your crush. He's not mine.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The new backup quarterback to Pupu Nani?
Oh, so exciting.
Wait, would you say he's the number 2 quarterback?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Oh, it's a knee slapper. That's a fucking knee slapper.
Yeah. Rich Eisen had a funny tweet. Actually, when the Ravens went for 2, he tweeted out that it was the second time that the quarterback went for 2.
Oh, I like it.
That was good.
I'm telling you, just own it, man. But no, go ahead. Give your 2 minutes of spotlight to Huntley.
That's
it?
No, one of my favorites. Loved him. Also truly adored the video of when him and I believe it was actually your boy Zach Moss moved from Florida to Utah and saw their first ever snowstorm, that, like, the one that we're not going to get.
Yep.
And they were just, like, obsessed with snow, and they couldn't believe it. So you see, like, these 2 18-year-old monsters just making snow, like snow angels in the middle of Utah. I thought that was really funny. But no, Huntley was another one. It was fun to watch. You knew he was going to be a backup, if that. Like, you couldn't, he definitely wasn't a guy that you were going to draft to run your franchise from day one. But I thought he had a lot of the, the tools necessary. I thought he had some pretty good accuracy. His feet were awesome. Man, he also got praise from his coaches. So I was excited about him. I liked him. So, I'm happy about that.
I thought he was going to be a wide receiver. I thought he was really going to be converted to a wide receiver, like another former Rob Crush that turned into a cut, that turned into a Miami Dolphin. But it's going to be interesting.
Who are we talking about with that one?
You don't want to talk about your guy, Lynn Bowden Jr.?
Well, first off, he was only a quarterback because he was thrown in there.
That counts. You took snaps at quarterback.
Well, no, but but nobody drafted him to be a quarterback.
No,
Nobody even recruited him to be a quarterback.
Nobody drafted Huntley.
It doesn't. No, it's totally different. Totally. And by the way, why would I even joke about Lynn Bowden? I mean, it makes perfect sense to draft a wide receiver, albeit a slot wide receiver, force him to move to running back, give up on him after 4 weeks in a COVID year, trade him for less than what you got him for, and then come out and say that you have a ton of injuries and you need a wide receiver. It makes perfect sense to me. Perfect sense.
I love just turning that crank.
It just makes so much sense.
It's like a jack in the box with you. I just say a couple certain words, and I'm like, here he goes. Here he goes.
It's absolutely, truly brilliant. Brilliant. And to give that man a 10-year, $100 million contract.
Hey, when you know, you know. Whatever.
I can't wait till Gruden has to run into the locker room to pull Lamar. That would be fantastic. Give over the play calling duties.
You won't. But real quick, since we're running low on time here, anything, I mean, we could talk about a little college football, some shockers in regards to the standings and how things are shaping out. I started to watch a little bit more college football. One guy that I'm high on now, and I know I'll talk about it briefly, is Chaz Surratt, the quarterback turned into linebacker at North Carolina. Reason why I'm super high on him is because exact reason what I started with. He's a quarterback that turned into a linebacker. Normally, that's a scary thing to think about. One, if he's a good linebacker, then how bad was he at quarterback? And if he's a terrible linebacker, then it's like, well, why'd you make the switch? You're going to get broken in half. But this guy is just a ball hawk. He understands the offense. He understands what teams are trying to run, and he understands gap assignment. And that's huge for a linebacker. He always seems to find himself in the right spot, but he also has sideline-to-sideline speed, which is amazing to see from a linebacker. But then again, he used to be a quarterback. So he was just a fun player for me to watch at North Carolina for this past week that I saw. Is anybody that – I know you're diving into a ton of tape right now as you're in draft mode, but anybody this week that show up for you?
Funny. There's a couple linebackers like that, and it's interesting to me. I can understand where the red flags would be because it's strange to think about. You get the stature questions. You think, well, if a guy's a quarterback, how can you expect him to be able to shed blocks and, maneuver inside of a line and things like that? These guys are phenomenal athletes this year. I think Jabril Cox is another one that was a former quarterback. What I like about it is the mindset. They're able to read the offense a lot better because they have experience in that position. Neither one of them are the best tacklers in the world, but absolutely you can tell they know how to read an offense, and that's awesome to me. One I wanted to talk about that I was wrong on, and when I say wrong, I mean I only watched a little bit of them before this year. Your favorite team in the world, Alabama.
Bust.
Devontae Smith, man, he is incredible. He might be the best collegiate route runner I've seen in a really long time. He is really good, and I guess I fell into the trap of looking for explosiveness when you're watching Ruggs last year and Waddle and and Judy. Like, he's not that, but he is going to be a phenomenal NFL wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, he's got all the tools. He definitely has all the tools, and it's scary to think what Alabama could be if they had all of their tools together for this year with Mac Jones putting in the year that he is, which I believe Mac Jones is overrated, just from my end. But it all goes back to my hatred for Alabama, knowing that, man, I could play quarterback in Alabama right now with how many good players that they have on there.
No, you couldn't.
Which, I mean, I absolutely could. I could throw the ball over the Mare Mountains. But Alabama is the number one team in the nation, which is completely understandable. Notre Dame is number 2, Clemson's 3, Ohio State's 4. The team that I wanted to talk about briefly, since we're almost out of time, does anybody realize that Iowa State is 6th in the nation?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't watched enough of Iowa State because I'll be completely honest, it's Iowa State. Why would I? But I guess I have to. And I mean, I'm more excited. I'm not even excited for the national championship games. I'm not even excited for the final two particular games. I'm more excited for the bowl games that could be, in my mind. And one thing that I think would be a fun thing to go over is trying to predict some bowl matchups. Like, if you see an Iowa State go up against a Cincinnati, like, that would be fascinating. You see, I would love to see a Coastal Carolina go up against a Georgia, but I know Coastal Carolina would get shellacked probably by Georgia. But still, stuff like that, depending upon how the rankings are right now. This is the year where something crazy is going to happen because not every team has played a full gamut of games. I mean, San Jose State, I believe, is in the top 25, and they've played 6 games total. So it's going to be interesting. And I know, like we said, the weeks of pro football are getting less and less, so it's going to be more college football talk from here on out. But that's pretty much what I wanted to get off my chest.
It's fun, man. It really is fun. It's awesome seeing, and we talk about Cincinnati all the time too, and it's just cool seeing some, new blood, if you will, at the top in college ball. So it's definitely cool. And stuff like that, honestly, like you got to get stuff like that's going to happen when you're LSU of last year, when your entire team is gone, and that's okay. You could argue the best college football team of all time last year. It's okay. You'll get back there. It'll happen. But when stuff like that happens, you open the door for these teams. And that's cool. I like that.
It's a rebuild for sure. But that'll bring us to the end of this week's episode. So make sure that you guys continue to follow us on our social media channels. So on Instagram and on Twitter at @_WarRoom33. And make sure you guys comment too. Let us know if you're listening. Let us know if you want to hear anything particular.
Yeah, throw some questions out there, and give us some feedback too. Like we're grown ass boys, we can take it. So any feedback you got, after subscribing, of course, and clicking the little like button, throw in the comments. Let us know. Give us some feedback. But yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody watching and listening.
Yep. But until next week, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.